Hello again, everyone. Hope you are well on this Tuesday afternoon. It bounced back up to about 75. What is it now? 77 degrees here near Athens, Georgia. Sunny. Not a cloud in the sky here. So are we going to see, forget recession, forget about it. I think that's old news in my book, my opinion. Are we going to see a flat out crash? Are we going to see straight up depression that will make the Great Depression of the 20s and 30s blush, pale in comparison? Are we going to see that? It's very possible, y'all. I'm serious. I'm not a financial expert. I'm not an economist. I'm just a regular guy who observes and learns from history and learns from experiences and tries my best to think critically. There's also some other news. We've got the markets are nervous and down. We got tariff wars going on. We've got threats from Canada to shut the power off to several states in the United States. There's an update on that I'll give you here in a minute. Also, an update in the war. I have a terrific passage that I will share with you that will definitely bring you encouragement, I promise. So stay tuned for that one. It's a good one. First, an update. The Z-Meister over there overseas is saying now that he is willing to accept a ceasefire with Russia, a 30-day minimum ceasefire, as the United States lifts the freeze on intelligence aid. So United States and Trump is lifting our freeze on giving them intelligence and military aid, and the Z-Meister is saying that he will accept a ceasefire and wants to end the war now. So it appears that this will now be in the court of Russia. So this is being presented to Russia. Don't know all the details, of course, of the proposed agreement, but we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. I'm not holding my breath on that one, to tell you the truth. Also, Newt Gingrich had a very interesting comment on the state of affairs with the rage of the left. I'll call it their unbalanced rage. I agree, of course. Sometimes it takes somebody like Gingrich just to say it out. Just say it, man. Just say it. Just put it out there. He said, the Democrats are enraged with no solutions. He says, what you have here is a hardline group that believes they have the right to be violent, that they have the right to deny the American people a choice of their leadership. The answer is very clear. This continues, this is unacceptable. You may have to just lock them up. They're breaking the law. You enforcing the law is what you need to do. Enforce the law. This is not acceptable. At some point, they will realize you cannot wage war on an entire American people, on an entire American populace. It's totally unacceptable. It's not okay. It's not acceptable to harass citizens, of course, too. Harass people like Musk and even people who are driving the cars that Musk made. Even just regular people that are, I don't know if they're regular people or not, but that are driving Teslas are getting attacked. Tesla buildings are being attacked. This is what kind of stuff he's talking about. They can't harass him. They can't harass Supreme Court justices. They cannot harass, not acceptable to harass the vice president while he's walking with his 3-year-old. Amen. I totally agree. You gotta take action. That's what they understand. Okay. I just had to share that. We got tariff wars. The market's tanked. Tariff wars, the markets went down again. They're nervous about all this stuff. Trump declared a national emergency earlier, saying that Canada will be We'll be a 51st state, he says. Declared a national emergency on the electricity in the United States and doubled the tariffs on aluminum, steel from Canada, coming in from Canada. Canada threatened to shut off the electricity to several states. I believe it was Michigan, New York, and Minnesota. Canada also said they were going to impose 25% tariff on electricity and threatened to turn off the electricity if this keeps escalating. That was what they said earlier. In response, Trump said, I'm going to take it from 25% to 50% on a tariff on your steel and aluminum coming in from Canada. Stock market tanked again. Everybody's nervous. We got a trade war. We got a tariff war, whatever you want to call it. He keeps saying you need to become a 51st state. So we have retaliatory tariffs here and there. Now, there is an update I just saw a while ago, right before I started recording this, saying that premier, I forget what his name is, in Canada that was threatening to do the tariffs on the electricity and cut the electricity off, is doing a turnaround now. He's come back and said that, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the tariffs, not going to do the on the electricity. I'm not going to turn the electricity off. We can talk about this. Whoa. Let's talk about this. So, of course, he's come around. He blinked. So, from what I can gather, Trump said, okay, the tariffs will be 25% instead of 50%, and you still need to become a 51st state. That dude is a tool, man. Trump is a tool, I tell you what. And I'm not saying that necessarily in a bad way, all right? He can be unpredictable. In a way, he's predictable, but if that makes sense at all. But anyway, so we have that going on. Will we see a ceasefire in Eastern Europe? Maybe, possibly, hopefully. Doug Ford was his name. I made a note. Doug Ford of Ontario. He's the one that said that he had threatened to shut down the grid, but he made a turnaround from that today. Apparently, he said, no, not going to happen. So we have that happening. The market's been down. We got a government shutdown that possible that is looming. They're trying to pass something, which they usually do right at the last moment, that will just kick the can down the road as usual, where they can just keep spending money like there's no tomorrow. Both parties do it. Democrats do it. Republicans do it. They all do it. It's just the way it's going to keep doing too. Until one day, the house is going to just crumble. The cards are going to crumble and flip and just fall down. Are we going to see at some point? We're going to see a crash. I'm not an expert, but that is a very real potential. They just keep kicking it down the road. How long does this last? Are we going to see a true depression? I think we've been in a silent depression for quite some time, actually. That's my opinion. My uneconomist opinion. But, a large number of Americans are struggling, y'all, to pay the rent. They can't even afford rent. Forget the mortgage, it's rent. They can't even afford to stay in an extended hotel. Much less, dang, insurance? Seriously? Insurance? Food? Tell us about it, right? Food, we know, we have to eat. Electricity? Your utility bills? They're not going down, are they? Is food going to come down? No. Food ain't going to come down. Fuel hadn't come down, at least not yet. Still have hope on that. So fuel, feed, food, your pet stuff, your livestock stuff, taxes. We need some kind of bone, man. We need some kind of bone thrown at us. Something, and I would say within the next few months. There was a good comment on my last video, I believe. I think it was Hidden Prepper said it. We need something. we have hope. We believe the light at the end of the tunnel is going to show. We're trusting right now. We're trusting, but we need something within the next few months that is tangible, that the folks can feel. I keep saying it, but I'd say within 90 days, we need that. Within 90 days, if we don't see that, if things just keep spiraling, keep on like they are, the prices just keep going up, we have a bigger problem. We have a problem, which we could see that. We could keep seeing the pain, y'all. I believe we will. We're going to keep seeing that. I think we need to be smart. Like I said, I'm not a finance guy, and I can't tell you exactly what to do. But, many of our ancestors survived the Great Depression. And we will too. Whatever comes. We need to be smart about our money, about what we have, how we are spending our time. Personally, I'd put off huge major purchases. I really would, y'all. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's budget is different. But overall, I would shy away from big purchases. DIY what you can. Instead of contracting it out or paying somebody to do something, do as much as you can yourself. As much as you're able. Like I'm not getting on the roof. If something has to be done to our roof, I'm paying somebody to do that. Now, if we got to patch something or paint something inside, we can do that. We can paint. We can stain the fence ourselves. I can cut my grass. You can do some little things like that. Do what you can. If you can change the oil in your vehicle, do it yourself. We need to stay on top of our maintenance, our health, our automobile maintenance, medical checkups, your dentist. Now's a good time. I would get these things done, knock it down, knock it off. Do your scans, go and get your stuff done that you need to get done. I hear so many instances of people getting diagnosed with stage 4, 3, 4, whatever you have it, cancers that are healthy, by all appearances are healthy people, young people even. And they might have just missed one scan or one checkup or 2 checkups. Let's get them done. I hate going too, but dang it, we do it. I see that dentist appointment on the calendar and I'm like, man. But we do it. I mean, especially if you got insurance. Knock it out. Take your vacation. Now what you do with it is another matter. But that company ain't gonna look at you no different. If you're working, you're earning time off, take it. I don't care if you just sit in your house or look out the window and watch birds. Watch the birds. Because if you don't take it, somebody else is going to take it. Now, what you do with it, like I said, Miss Dawg and I were having a conversation. We're having conversations. Do we take a vacation? We're going to take the time off. Now, we're going to take the time off for sure. But what are we going to take a trip or something like that? I don't know. We got to look at things, and maybe it's every dollar we spend, we really we got to be careful about it. We really have to be careful. There's a lot going on, and we have to think about how it's going to affect us on our level, okay? And prepare accordingly. Look at your stock. Look at what you have saved. Look at what you have, your provisions. Where do you have a hole in it? Where do you need to refill? We don't know how much prices are going to go up. We really don't know how much. But we know short term, we're going to see more pain, y'all. It's coming. It's here already. Heck, we've been dealing with it now for a while, right? But it could get worse before it gets better. So keep that in mind. Are we going to see another Great Depression? We absolutely could. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But, I mean, think about it. If people didn't have credit cards, you know, I think we'd be seeing a different world right now. That's my opinion, but hang in there. I hear from some of y'all. It's tough. I know. I get it. All right, I'm going to go to a passage. I'm in Lamentations. Lamentations, chapter 3, starting with verse 22. This section is titled Hope of Relief in God's Mercy. Starting in chapter 3, verse 22 said, "The Lord's acts of mercy indeed do not end, for his compassions do not fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I wait for him. The Lord is good to those who await him." To the person who seeks him. That first part, the Lord's acts of mercy indeed do not end. They do not end forever and ever. No matter what's going on with the economy, a tariff, a tax, whatever you want to call it, health. We're not promised an easy way though, right? We're not promised pain-free. But he'll see us through it. And he'll be there at the end, right? And forever. So you can bank on that. That should be encouraging. I hope it is. Hope all this makes sense in some way. Share your thoughts. What do you think? Let's keep our preparations up. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. But first, the spiritual prep. So let's stay close to Jesus. Let's be safe. Be careful out there. God bless y'all. I'll see you soon.